The mafia. The very word evokes images of shadowy figures, secret meetings and whispers of violence. But who are the mafia? They are more than just criminals. They are an organization, a network bound by tradition, loyalty, and a ruthless pursuit of power. The term mafia itself is shrouded in mystery. Some believe it originated from Arabic, others from Sicilian dialect. Regardless of its source, the word has come to represent a complex and often brutal reality. The mafia thrives on secrecy. Its members, known as made men, operate under a strict code of silence called omerta. This code demands absolute loyalty and forbids any cooperation with authorities. To understand the mafia, we must delve into its history, its structure, and its impact on the world. It's a journey into the heart of organized crime, a world where power and violence go hand in hand. The roots of the mafia can be traced back to the rugged island of Sicily, a land of stark beauty and harsh realities. In the 19th century, Sicily was a land plagued by instability and weak governance, where the rule of law was often absent. Large estates, owned by absentee landlords, dominated the landscape, creating a vast divide between the wealthy and the poor. To protect their interests and maintain control over their lands, these absentee landowners turned to local strongmen. These enforcers, often bandits or criminals, were tasked with enforcing their rule and collecting payments from the peasants. These strongmen became the first mafiosi, operating outside the law and commanding respect through fear and violence. They were seen as both protectors and oppressors. These early mafia groups, known as kosher, were often based in villages or small towns, where they embedded themselves deeply into the fabric of local life. They provided a perverse form of order in a chaotic environment, offering protection and settling disputes, but always at a price. Their influence grew steadily, and they began to infiltrate local governments and businesses, extending their reach and control. Over time, these scattered groups coalesced into a more organized network, laying the foundation for the Sicilian mafia we know today. This network was not just a collection of criminals, but a structured organization with its own rules and hierarchy. This network, bound by blood ties, loyalty, and a shared code of conduct, would become a powerful force in Sicilian society, influencing every aspect of life on the island. The late 19th and early 20th centuries saw waves of Italian immigrants seeking a new life in America. Among them were members of the Sicilian mafia, escaping poverty or fleeing justice. They found fertile ground in the bustling cities of the United States. Prohibition in the 1920s provided a golden opportunity. The ban on alcohol created a massive black market, and the mafia was quick to capitalize. They smuggled liquor, ran illegal gambling dens, and expanded their influence through extortion and violence. As their wealth and power grew, the American mafia, often called Cosa Nostra, established itself as a force to be reckoned with. They infiltrated unions, controlled businesses, and even exerted influence over politicians. The American mafia, while inspired by its Sicilian roots, developed its own distinct structure and hierarchy. It became a powerful and ruthless organization, leaving its bloody mark on American history. Section 4. Families of Power. A look at infamous names. Throughout history, certain names have become synonymous with power, influence, and infamy. These names often belong to families who have left an indelible mark on society, for better or worse. The mafia, both in Italy and America, is structured around families, or kosher. These families are the backbone of organized crime, operating with a strict code of conduct and hierarchy. These families are not always connected by blood, but by bonds of loyalty and shared criminal enterprise. The sense of loyalty and secrecy within these groups is paramount, often surpassing even familial ties. Certain families rose to prominence, their names becoming synonymous with power and brutality. Their actions and decisions have shaped the course of history, leaving a legacy of fear and respect. In Sicily, the Corleonese mafia clan, led by the ruthless Salvatore Riina, waged a bloody war against rival families in the 1980s. Rina's reign of terror was marked by extreme violence and a relentless pursuit of power. They consolidated power and transformed the Sicilian mafia into a major player in the international drug trade. This shift not only increased their wealth but also their influence on a global scale. In America, names like Gambino, Genovese, Lucchese and Colombo became legendary. These families built their empires through a combination of cunning, ruthlessness and strategic alliances. These families controlled vast criminal empires, their influence stretching from New York City to Las Vegas. They were involved in various illegal activities, from gambling and extortion to drug trafficking and murder. These families operated within their own territories, maintaining a delicate balance of power and often engaging in bloody conflicts to protect their interests. The constant struggle for dominance led to numerous violent confrontations and power shifts. Their stories, filled with ambition, betrayal and violence, have captivated the public imagination for decades. From books and movies to television series, the tales of these infamous families continue to intrigue and fascinate audiences around the world. Section 5. The business of crime activities of the underworld. The underworld operates in the shadows, hidden from the public eye, yet its influence is far-reaching and deeply entrenched in society. The mafia's primary business is, and always has been, crime. Their operations are meticulously planned and executed with precision, often leaving little trace behind. While their methods have evolved over the decades, their goals remain the same: power and profit. They adapt to changing times, always finding new ways to exploit opportunities. From their early days in Sicily to their rise in America, they have engaged in a wide range of criminal activities. Their roots run deep, and their influence has spread across continents. Extortion, known as protection money, has been a cornerstone of their operations. This practice involves coercing businesses into paying for protection from threats that the mafia themselves often create. They prey on businesses, forcing them to pay for protection from threats that the mafia themselves often create. This creates a cycle of fear and dependency, ensuring their control over local economies. Drug trafficking has become a major source of revenue for the mafia, particularly since the 1970s. The profits from this illegal trade are astronomical, funding further criminal enterprises. They exploit global networks to move massive quantities of heroin, cocaine, and other illicit substances. Illegal gambling, loan sharking, money laundering, and other forms of financial manipulation are also part of their extensive portfolio. And infiltrating legitimate businesses have also been lucrative endeavors for these criminal organizations. They blend the illegal with the legal, making it difficult to distinguish between the two. They operate in the shadows, manipulating markets and exploiting vulnerabilities for their own gain. Their reach extends into various sectors, including finance, real estate, and even politics. The mafia's reach extends far beyond street crime. They have infiltrated unions, construction companies, and other industries, using their influence to rig bids, extort contracts, and line their pockets with illicit gains. And waste disposal businesses, using their influence to rig bids, extort contracts, and line their pockets. Their operations are complex and multifaceted, making them a formidable force in the criminal underworld.